Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Atlanta Killer Show. Today we'll be going over the Tier 6 destroyer Anshan. Anshan is available in the premium shop for $16 as a patch 10.8, or in the armory for 4,000 doubloons, or for 40,000 coal. So we're going to start by going over the stats of Anshan. So for armor layout, we have 16 millimeters up front here, 13 millimeters on the frontal plate of the turret, side of the turret 13. Superstructure plane, we got 10 millimeter sections here, 13 millimeter again on the turret. Conning tower 19 meters, 19 millimeters. Deck 16 meters. More 10 millimeter plating on the superstructure. Back here on the aft, we have 16 millimeter plating with a section of 19 millimeter plating here and here. Destroyers have no citadels. So let's see here. Side plating 16 millimeters. 16. Internal bulkhead is 13 millimeters in the back. 13 millimeters in the front. Survivability is 14,400 hit points. Artillery is 4x1. 4x1. 133 millimeter battery. Reload time is 4.8 seconds. Main battery range is 14.3 kilometers. Anshan has two different sets of torpedoes, which I'll show you here. We have the 533 millimeter 53-38s, which have a shorter reload time, but have a really bad range of only 4 kilometers. I don't know why you would ever equip these torpedoes. They're really, really bad. Only thing good about them is their speed of 65 knots. I would not ever equip these torpedoes, as you're put at a really competitive disadvantage. Damage is 1400, 400. Then we have the 533 millimeter 53-51 torpedoes. Reload time is 79 seconds. Torpedo range 8.0 kilometers. Speed is a little less at 60 knots. 14,400 damage again. I would never choose that 4 kilometer torpedoes. I think that's an outdated option that they need to buff up to 5 or 6 kilometer range to make them usable. Engagements are more longer range now. Of course, on here they're called something different. They're called 533 millimeter 1-N for some reason. We already got a range and speed there. Already talked about that. Alright, let's talk about depth charges for a sec, because this is going to become more important as submarines are introduced into the game. So we have 2 charges. The maximum damage on each is 1700. Bombs in a charge is 6. Depth charge reload time is 40 seconds. You got your AA here. You got your 4x 237 millimeter, 3.5 kilometer range. So you're not going to be immune. So skip bombers might get you a little bit. Priority sector reinforcement 35%. Not really a lot of AA on this, so be careful with carriers engaging with them. Maximum speed is 38 knots. Turning circle radius is 610 meters. Which is kind of in the middle of the pack. Rudder shift time 4.4 seconds. Detectability range by sea 7 kilometers. Detectability from sub 0 to 7. Detectability by air 2.9 kilometers. Assured detectability range 2.0. And this is what I have equipped. I have propulsion modification 1, which is what you would use to helps you get going a little faster. I have main battery mod 2. That's probably not the most ideal setup. The ideal setup would be torpedo 2's modification 1. That'd be the ideal. I just have this on there because I wanted to focus my Anshan more for gunnery than for torpedoes, because the torpedo range is so short. engine room protection. I have that equipped, and I have magazine modification 1 equipped as well. And we'll sort of go through our little stats again. Armor piercing shells, pretty good damage there. Velocity, HE shell velocity the same. Less damage than the armor piercing. We got engine boost consumable here. Smoke generator. I believe it's a normal smoke generator. And damage control party. An additional thing to note, these are normal torpedoes, not deep water torpedoes. It's different from the line, which is deep water torpedoes. For signals, I have Juliet Whiskey Ione equipped. Increases up the flooding chances, and then you'd probably want, you could justify perhaps Indiana X-ray if you're going to focus on gunnery, but of course most people will sit there and put on Sierra Mike as well. And we're going to take Anshan out in the co-op because that's going to be the closest to conditions in the future when subs are released into randoms, possibly. Here we go. Let's see if we can get a battle with some subs in it. I feel like Anshan could use a buff on that first torpedo option there and increase that out to 6 kilometers to make it more competitive. The second torpedo option maybe increase that out to 9 or 10 kilometer, make it also a little more competitive. Got a lot of divisions in co-op today. We got a CV battle. Here we go. We're gonna see how this plays out, huh? Alright. I'm gonna go to Cap A here. Just gonna scout it out a little bit, and if I see too many enemies, I'm gonna turn around. Ideally, you want to position yourself in a good point because your torpedoes don't have that extremely long, only have 8 kilometer range. You want to sit there and position yourself well. Since we have a lot of enemies coming inbound, I'm just going to kind of turn around. I have some shots on their Goupard. Two destroyers. Alright. As always, I'll be linking the little white mouse review as well in the description. One of the things I like to note is that these guns tend to really tear up the enemies a bit. Getting close, I'm going to launch some torps.
Torpedoes to port. Torpedoes to port.
Sank them. Went down pretty quick there. My mistake was I wasn't turning far enough away from the torpedoes. I was turning in when I should have turned the other way. As I said, you're going to be getting okay range out of the torpedoes. They're not the best, so I'm going to put in another battle. Future me is going to put in another battle once I'm able to get back into battle here. I'll be continuing on from there. Otherwise, we're going to just stop it here. I'll get that second battle put in for you all. We'll talk more in the second part. Hello, everybody. We'll be back. Now we're on our second part of the Anshan review here. So I'm going to pull up the results from the battle. So this is where the results from the first battle here. 13,150 damage, and I sank one of the destroyers. We're going to take Anshan back out in battle here. There we go. Now we're gonna go back into battle. Alright, here we go. Got some submarines in the queue this time. Perfect. Here we go. Round 2 of Anshan. Submarines. Alright. Go to Cap C here. Scout it out and see what we can find over there. Alright, here we go. And I just want to reiterate the costs of Anshan. Anshan is 4,000 doubloons or 40,000 coal in the armory. $16 in the premium shop. It's not a bad destroyer, but I think the first torpedo option is obviously a no-go these days because of all engagements basically being like long range. You know? It's just crazy.
Engine boost activated.
Alright. This time I'm gonna do it better. Honestly, as soon as there's an option to turn off chat, I'm going for it because sometimes people say some really silly things. Plane coming at me here. Let's see who's being silly. Honestly, I'm glad that there's an option to block messages. There's only so much you can do. Try to do the best I can. Get this battleship here. Hit a little too hard here. Sit here and come. Where's this torpedo coming from? Where's their destroyer hiding?
Torpedoes dead ahead.
Must be facing a British destroyer. Can't quite see yet. Torpedoes won't be reloaded for another 40 seconds. Looks like they missed the Scharnhorst. Alright, let me see if I can get in here and get these tools.
Our team has taken the lead.
Alright. Torpedoes, widespread, come on. Sank pretty quick there. See that the full complement of Anshan's torpedoes take out a battleship quite quickly. See if our final damage count was 53,363. One sinking, 5 torpedoes, 8 shots on target, 3 planes down, 1 spotted, 1 capture. That's going to conclude my review on Anshan. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like, watch, and subscribe for future World of Warships and Temple Run 2 videos. Thank you so much for watching.